data, sequencing data is available, and you have 5 drugs in treatment the patients have gone through. You can take those 1 million people and you can see before and after treatment क्या हुआ, उनके क्या age group थी, what was their sex or gender, what ethnicity that they belong to. They were Caucasians or Indians or Oriental or black or whatever. उनका जो racial है, you can, so now you can see, you can start forming actually a pattern. Okay, in which of the 5 drugs worked or not worked, what was the common thing in which it worked or didn't work. So you can start making comparison, and to understand all of that, omics is one of the technique which is used. And now you can see as connecting to how the whole experimental therapeutics, how various of these disciplines come together in order to develop a drug. Like I said, next time अगर आप crocin या anacin भी लें तो be thankful to all those scientists who work behind the scene in order to create that. So it's fun. So same way, I'll not blabber more and more on this, but again, same genomic approaches. I mentioned proteomics at the protein level, at the gene level, you could do this. So this is basically how our approach. Now, think for a second. This is what helps us to appreciate what it takes to create knowledge and make useful application of what we create, and how long it takes. We are in 2025. As I was telling you, these omics, and they are refining again and again as more and more technology, more and more तरीके उसके आते जा रहे हैं कि at pico, at the micro level, nano level, pico level, उसको करने के लिए आपको instrument भी इतने sensitive होने चाहिए ना कि उसको pick कर सके signals को. So when that engineering aspect is happening, our understanding, it is helping in bio. They are all interconnected. It's helping us to understand better biology, right? But as we understand that, these techniques, for example, sequencing techniques or omics, as I mentioned, coming together to help us to understand कि patient के अंदर है क्या, right? So now you see, with that better understanding, you can so previously there was chemotherapy. Again, using term, for cancer, for example, there was chemotherapy. Then a study showed that you can actually, so chemotherapy में क्या है, paclitaxel or cisplatin or many of these drugs which have been, the basic idea was that drug will attack the cells, cancer cells, it will kill the cancer cells. That's again at a macro level. Inside the cell, as you see, there are many thousands of proteins which are present. So study which came out actually from a senior colleague from my lab, my institute, for the first time ever in the world, showed that you can actually target a specific protein without affecting others, and develop the first drug, and then the term targeted therapy started. And the first drug was Gleevec, imatinib, that came out of the lab of Brian Drucker, who is a senior faculty in my institute. First time ever in the world in oncology. And now there are 74 specifically targeting TKI, tyrosine kinase inhibitor, BCR-ABL are the proteins for which. So that opened the field of targeted therapy, which is just like 23-24 years ago. It's not too 30 साल से पुरानी नहीं है, वो तब से शुरू हुई. ग्लीवेक आया 22-23 साल पहले. So our understanding of जितना हम समझते आ रहे थे क्या है, our understanding of biology is the most important thing. Human health के लिए पहले पता पड़ेगा कि human biology है क्या, किसी की भी health के लिए. And then now, as I showed, now as the technique, for example, next gen sequencing or omics came, you can identify what is the cause of a disease, which protein is the cause, gene or protein is the cause of a disease in the organ. For example, पहले होता था ना कि जो कि head and neck cancer, thyroid cancer, blood cancer, or triple negative breast cancer, or ovarian cancer, that was named on the organ, tissue level पे. Within the organ, I showed you one example of. For example, in lung cancer, they are known, at least there are 16 different proteins. So हर एक का ज़रूरी नहीं सेम हो. So now you know कि क्या उसका protein है, which is the cause of that, and you develop and you give to only that. That is now personalized medicine. So see how this, and that was, again, now you probably have an appreciation of why I started with the history of. So it takes a long time to develop that, the knowledge, then to apply that knowledge in a meaningful way to understand the biology. And so here we are, and so there is a paradigm shift now, because now we can understand patient by patient what as best as we can in today's time based on all the knowledge and the techniques that we have. And we have long way to go. We have a lot to understand biology. इसका मतलब नहीं कि हमको सारा biology जब omics आ गया तो सब कुछ हो जाएगा. That's just one technique. It is better than before in trying. It still doesn't tell you how pura whole biology mechanism, signaling pathways, how they are connected and how they work. We really don't know a whole lot about that. But anyway, as these techniques become more and more available, now we are talking about personalized treatment, right? So from before, like even not too long, 25, 30 years ago, before, when you just give a strong toxic drug to kill the cancer cells, now you can actually give better targeted drugs. Now you can give drugs which are relevant to the patient's cause of the protein, the causative protein, the driver of the disease, instead of unnecessarily torturing the patient with all these toxic drugs when it is really not going to help. So so there is definitely the treatment patient care has now advanced. Again, these are terminology advanced from before. Still be long way to go, but it is much better than that. So therefore, there is a paradigm shift. One size fits all, which used to be pehle, is not the case. Now you can just actually analyze and you can just treat accordingly. Any question? So what if we take a pause here? I think that's enough for you to digest. And in my folder, and again, if you, the hard drive that he gave yesterday, there was some error. I was trying to copy all my, there were 25 publications, but it was not allowing me to copy that. So maybe I need another one. I can just, copy it and then you can just distribute it whichever way Dr. Singh. But other than that, probably I think there's enough now just for you to digest. And then tomorrow when we meet, we'll talk about pharmacology and toxicology. How, the whole PKPD, what it is, how it works, and how it is helpful in understanding and designing drugs and designing new therapies. Okay, so we have few minutes for you to ask any questions related to what I have said so far, or in general about your education and anything that I can be of any help and I can share with you. Stop. Okay, thanks. So he has given us the signal so we can all, crack some jokes. Okay.